If you're waiting to feel motivated, it's like waiting for the perfect weather to go on a run. If you're waiting for that, you're never going to get started. Today, I'm going to be talking about how consistency is the key to your success. Now, I will put all of my money, all of the time on a consistent person over a motivated person. What's really interesting is that people always ask me how to get more motivated, but very rarely do people ask me the question of how do I just stay consistent? For some reason, everybody thinks that they want to be motivated. And I'm here to tell you, you don't want to be motivated. If you're sitting there thinking that you need to be motivated before you take any action, you will not get what you want in this world. But you're not searching for motivation. You're searching for consistency. You're searching for how can I be the person that shows up for myself, for my business, for other people every single day. Because motivation is kind of like a sugar rush, right? It gives you a quick burst of energy and then it just fades as quick as it came in. If you rely on motivation, you'll only take action when you quote unquote feel like it. And if you only take action if I only took action when I felt like it, I would not be anywhere where I want to be. And I don't think any person would be where they want to be if they only took action when they feel like it. That is the fastest way to fail. Success doesn't come from waiting for the right feeling. It comes from moving forward, especially when you don't feel like it. It comes from saying, hey, I said I was going to do this. I need to get it done. I don't necessarily feel like it, but my feelings should not dictate my actions because my actions are going to dictate the life that I want. So I need to take the right actions. So what you want is you want to be consistent. Consistency wins. When I look at someone who is extremely successful, whether it's in business, whether it's in the relationship, whether it's a professional athlete, it is the person who is the most consistent that always wins. I will always bet, and I'm not a betting man, but if I were a betting man, I would always bet on the consistent person over the motivated one. Motivation is fleeting. Motivation is fleeting. It's sometimes here, most of the time it's not. But I want to be the person who's consistent, who shows up every single day. Think of like the gym, for instance. The person who works out 3 times a week for an entire year will always beat the person who works out 7 days a week for a month and then quits. Motivation is the spark. Consistency is the fire that just keeps burning long after the spark has gone away, long after the motivation has disappeared. So anybody can start something, and most people are really good at starting something, and you can start it when you're excited, but few people can keep it going after the excitement is gone. And so consistency is a character trait that we want to build within ourselves. And just FYI, consistency doesn't mean you have to win 100% of the time. Like you have to show up every single day for the next 1,000 days. That's really hard to do, but you need to be more consistent more than you're not consistent. It's kind of like James Clear. One of the quotes that I love from him is that every action that you take is a vote for the person that you wish to become. And he talks about voting, and it's like a person, in order to be elected, doesn't have to get 100% of the votes. They just have to get the majority of the votes. And so can you make sure that the majority of your actions are consistent of you taking the action that you need to get what you want? So if you're trying to lose weight, I don't expect you to work out every single day for this entire year. That's hard to do. But can you make sure that you show up 4 days a week, 5 days a week? Consistency is a character trait. Consistency is not something that you're built with and born with. It's something that you develop within yourself, and it becomes part of who you are. It's not pre-wired into you. Nobody's born consistent. It's built through habits and it's built through discipline. If you don't have the life that you want, be more disciplined. Be more consistent. And because of the fact that it's not pre-wired, it means that you can develop it no matter who you are, no matter how great your life is, no matter how crap your life is right now. The most successful people in the world are not the ones that are the most talented or the most gifted. They're the ones that show up every single day. And if you look at it, like the thing that I love about sports is that you can see people who are extremely talented get drafted into the NFL, number one, for instance. and then they don't work and they disappear into oblivion. They have so much talent, but it doesn't last. But then you see people like, Tom Brady, who was, I think, drafted like number 199, but he is the most consistent. He retired a year and a half ago at this point, and he still works out in the mornings, puts up his videos on YouTube and on Instagram and stuff like that, doing the same workouts as if he is going to go back and play a game on this Sunday. So the people who win long-term are not the ones that are most gifted, the most talented. They're the ones that put in the work for the longest amount of time. And so what I would recommend is to plan your life as if most days you're not going to be motivated and most days you're not going to want to do it. You may be motivated, you may not be motivated. But when you focus on consistency, when you focus on just planning to get it done no matter what, you win. When you hope and pray that tomorrow, I hope and pray that I'm motivated to grow my business. If you think that way, you're going to lose. If you're waiting to feel motivated, it's like waiting for the perfect weather to go on a run. If you're waiting for that, you're never going to get started. Consistency is about creating the momentum so that even on the bad days, you can still take action. All right, well, I was going to go running today. The weather looks like trash. So you know what? I'm just going to walk up and down my stairs for the next 30 minutes. You're still going to get it done. It's not going, it wasn't what I wanted it to be, so I guess I'm going to skip. It's like, no, I'm still going to do it because I said I was going to do it. I'm going to figure out a way. Expecting motivation every day, it's just not realistic. Expecting yourself can be consistent is where the real power is. So if I'm on a weight loss journey, I can work out when I'm motivated, but what happens on the days that I don't feel like working out? That's where most people quit. Motivation says, oh, I'll go when I feel like it. Consistency is the feeling of I go no matter what. Think about that for a second. Motivation, I'll if I feel like it, I'll do it. Consistency is I go no matter what. No matter what I feel like, no matter what the weather is, no matter what the world is happening around me, I do it no matter what. That is the mindset that you have to have for whatever it is that you want. Whether it's building a successful business, building the body that you want, building the relationship that you want. Consistency says, I will do this no matter what. Consistency is, listen, I said I was committed to working out today. I'm not going to go to bed until it's done. Not, oops, I ran out of time. Maybe tomorrow I'll get it done. No, that's not committed to something. That's not being consistent. Oh, I ran out of time. Maybe tomorrow. No, it's like, I'm going to get it done. I'm going to move my schedule around to make sure that I have enough time to get it done today. If I run out of time, if it is 11 o'clock at night, I had a busy day and oh my God, I forgot to work out. Got to get it done. I used to run this challenge at the beginning of every single year. And it was called, it originally started off as 60 days, called the Iron Mind 60. And part of it was that you had to do 5 different things every single day for 60 days straight. And one of them was working out. And I remember it was me and my wife, we were doing it. I was running the entire thing. I had 1,000 people that were doing it as well. I had to show up, right? I remember my wife and I were traveling and we went to Denver. And I went to, we get into Denver, we get into our hotel. I'm at the event. I go to the event. I have everything I need to do. We get done with the event. Then we have dinner. It's like 10:30 at night. And I go, oh my God, Lauren, we forgot to work out today. And the requirement was you have to work out for at least 30 minutes. And she's like, well, what do we do? I'm like, I can't tell people to work out every day for 60 days in a row and take a cold shower every single day for 60 days in a row, and to not drink alcohol every day for 60 days in a row, and all of these other requirements that we had, I was like, I have to get it done. We have to do it. And so her and I, at like 11:30 at night, after all of this traveling, an entire day at an event, all of that, we ended up just taking, no joke, took all of the towels that we could find in the hotel, put them down on the ground, and then we just literally did our workout. We put on YouTube and we got our workout done and acted like the towels were our yoga mats. We built up a sweat. Then we're like, all right, well, now we got to take a shower, go to bed. So we went to bed later than we had been planning. And maybe that turns into less sleep tonight, but at least I got it done and I can plan ahead to make sure I get it done tomorrow. Consistency is saying, it's not saying, oops, I ran out of time. It's, I was committed to working out today. I will not go to bed until it's done. Because that is how you build confidence within yourself. People I say, I want to be more confident. How do I be more confident? Do what you say you're going to do. There's always one person watching you, and it's you. So consistency is saying, listen, I was committed to making 100 calls today. I will not leave the office, even if it's midnight, until I make 100 calls. Consistency says, I said I was committed to posting on my Instagram today for my business. So I'm going to figure out what I'm going to post and I'm going to get it done no matter what. Consistency is, I said I was committed to shooting and editing my YouTube video today. And even though I've got no following right now and nobody cares, I'm still going to get it done because I said I was going to get it done. And it matters to me to show up for myself more than anything else. Because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. If you break small commitments to yourself, you'll break big ones too. If you're saying, oh, nobody's watching, it doesn't really matter, that's when it matters the most. Consistency is not about being perfect. It's about being disciplined enough to show up even when it's not your best day. And you have to make it a non-negotiable. Remove the mental struggle. There's no option. I got to get it done. You don't debate whether or not you should do it. You just do it. So it's kind of like, as I say, the great Marshall Mathers, the philosopher great Marshall Mathers says, success is my only motherfucking option. Failure's not. You don't even give yourself a chance to fail because you're just not going to not do it. How many times have you given up? If you really want to succeed, just stop stopping. Just keep going. Hey, I said I was going to do it. I'm going to do it no matter what. It's not when will I get it done? It's I will get it done. And when you rewire your mind to remove the option of quitting, everything changes. And this is what I think is a big thing. And I used to be a great person of not doing what I was supposed to do and making excuses and blaming everybody else and blaming that why it wasn't my fault. But when you just rewire your mind to remove the option of quitting, there is no way to quit. There is no other option. Your entire life starts to change. Most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they let themselves off the hook too easily, but not you. Maybe the old version of you, but the new version of you, you're not doing that anymore. And here's the thing, when you're consistent, you actually become more motivated. And the reason why is because when you string together a few different wins in a row, 4 or 5 days of wins, you look at that string and go, I don't want to break that string. I want to keep it going. And so I want to keep taking action. And so more often than not, people think I need to be motivated to take action. Like action follows motivation. But psychologists have found that motivation follows action. The more action you take, the more likely you are to be motivated to take more action. It's kind of like once the snowball starts going, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Most people hope for motivation to take the action. That's not the way it works. You need to get yourself moving to take action to get a shot at motivation. It's like if you've ever gone to work out and you don't feel like working out, but you're like, but I said I was going to do it. And I'm just going to show up to the gym, and you start getting your body moving and you start getting endorphins and your heart rate starts going and it starts moving. And you're like, you know what? I was supposed to leave 10 minutes ago. I'm just going to go for another 10 minutes. And you go longer than you were planning. Why? Because the action created more motivation. And action is the only thing that creates results. Think about that for a second. Like, it's very obvious, but nobody ever really talks about it. Action is the only thing that creates results. And when you get more and more results, you start getting more and more excited and you start getting more motivated. If you've ever lost like 5 pounds and you notice the scale change and you notice a little bit of a difference in the mirror, you're like, oh, wait, this is pretty good. I'm getting these results. You get more motivated. You take better action from that. So if you want motivation, stop waiting for it. Move first and let motivation catch up to you. The first few reps of the gym, they feel like they're hard. The first few minutes of a run, yeah, you feel sluggish. But once you start moving, you get those endorphins, your energy builds. That's how motivation works too. Usually the hardest part is the starting. It's getting yourself to the gym. The hardest part is the first couple phone calls. But once you start getting that movement going, you get a couple phone calls, you get a sale, you get more motivation. You want to keep making more phone calls. And so my biggest thing that I want to tell you, my biggest key is to start small. Just pick one thing. And what I want you to do is I want you to challenge yourself to do it for the next 100 days, no matter what. What is it? What is one thing that you could do every single day for the next 100 days? Think about it. Say it out loud to yourself if you need to. And don't do more than one thing. Okay? Listen to me. Don't do more than one thing. Most people fail because they try to change too much at once, and it's a shock to the system, and your subconscious fights you. No, I want you to do one thing. Stack 100 days of doing that thing, because success comes from stacking small wins, not from overwhelming yourself with big changes. Focus on being consistent and focus on consistency over intensity. Doing one small thing every single day is more powerful than doing one huge thing a week. You know, most people try to add too much too soon. They think, well, since I'm doing one thing for the next 100 days, what if I just try to do 5 things for the next 100 days? It ends up being too much. It's a big shock to the system. They stop doing all of them. They crash and burn. The goal is not to do that. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to build a habit. So instead of trying to change your entire life overnight, just pick one habit that will create some momentum. And then what you want to do is you want to track that thing. You want to get a calendar and check off the days when you get it done. Seeing yourself progress visually will keep you accountable. If you miss a day, don't miss 2 days in a row. This is a really key part. You can miss one day, but don't miss 2 days in a row. James Clear says, if you miss 2 days, you're creating a new habit. So yeah, you can screw up. We all do. That's life. Don't beat yourself up over it. Make adjustments. But if you miss one day, do not miss 2 days in a row, because momentum is everything. And so what you want to do is you want to find one thing that's going to change your life massively. Maybe it's just working out, because when you work out, and it's only working out, I'm not saying you need to change your entire life, but when you start working out, you start doing other things naturally. Like you start eating healthier, you start drinking more water, you start getting more sleep, you start eating less sugar, you start drinking less alcohol. I don't even care about all those other things. I just want you to work out every day for the next 100 days or something like that, right? Let's say another thing that you could do would be waking up early, right? I don't care about anything else except for you waking up early every single day for the next 100 days. Because then you wake up and you're like, well, I've got some extra time. Maybe I'll work out today. And I've got some extra time today, so maybe I'll journal today. And I've got some extra time today, so maybe I'll read today. I've got some extra time today, so maybe I'll meditate. Got some extra time today, maybe I'll do some yoga. Maybe I'll go for a walk. I don't care about all those other things. I care about just wake up early. Maybe you decide, I just want to eat healthy. That's fine. Just eat healthy. And that turns into, you know what? I'm going to stop drinking so much. I'm going to drink some more water. I'm going to go on more walks. I'm going to, do some yoga every day. I don't care about all those other things. Just eat healthy. Find one thing that is not a huge thing that you could commit to for 100 days. And then all you need to do is just track it. Because it's about being consistent, not motivated. Motivation is unreliable. Consistency is unstoppable. If you want something in your life, stop waiting for motivation to get started. Pick one thing, stick to it for the next 100 days, and watch how it starts to transform everything else in your life. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. If you love this video, click this one right here. YouTube thinks that you should watch this one right now. And if you want to subscribe, go ahead and hit this button right there.